creek. Walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons. Country kid turning to a town right heathen. Country kid turning to a town right heathen.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Old Man Van Running. Here again in the Old Man Van Cave, the Old Man Van Castle. I'm getting ready today to finish week number 6 of my London Marathon training block. And man, it's been a whirlwind couple of weeks, a very busy couple of weeks. That's why I haven't got an update video out in a couple of weeks, but today I'm going to do that. So first of all, I had my first cutback week, so I didn't really think I needed to do much of a video then. And then I went right into week number 5. And week number 5 originally was supposed to be maybe a 45-mile week, but I had a race. I'm now a member of SoundRunner Racing here in Connecticut. And we had our first leg of the United States Track and Field Connecticut Grand Prix Road Racing Series. So we had that race last weekend. It was the Winter Wonderland 5-miler down in Milford, Connecticut. And, I was a little nervous. First time running with a team, since college, really. I'm going to tell you, it went pretty darn well. So before I get into those details, so you stick around in the video, what I'll also tell you is I've been thinking about what my marathon race shoe is going to be for London. And I went ahead and I purchased the Saucony Endorphin Elite. I had held off on purchasing this shoe. Wasn't sure if it was really going to work for me. But as I started looking into it, I heard that it was a very stable shoe. It has an 8mm drop, which is what I like. So I figured I might as well take a flyer on it. And I'm going to tell you, I have not been disappointed. So before I get into the rest of my update, I'm going to take you outside and you're going to see how the first run in the Saucony Endorphin Elite went.
So far, very stable for a racing shoe. And I'm going to tell you, I like the feel. Obviously, I got to get more miles in it, but it's got that real substantial speed roll rocker in the front, but I don't feel strange in them. So I don't know how my legs are going to feel after, but I don't feel bad in them. We'll see how that works. I'm cruising along right around 8-minute pace, 8.5, anywhere between 8 and 9. And I'm kind of in high zone too. So definitely moves me along faster than my regular training shoes. So 2 miles in, averaging under 9, even with some hills, cruising along in the 140s for my heart rate for the most part. And they're feeling really smooth and true to size. They're not too short, they're not voluminous, but there's enough room. I don't feel any hot spots at all. It's early, but they feel like most Saucony shoes to me. Very comfortable. So far so good. I'm not feeling what I was concerned about at first would be how that extreme rocker in the front might feel, but so far so good. What I will say is it is kind of making me lean forward a little bit, which isn't a bad thing.
So there you have it, a pretty good first run. I'm going to tell you, the second run in the Endorphin Elite was even better. That was at the Winter Wonderland 5-miler last weekend, and I'm going to tell you, I absolutely love this shoe. I was really worried, and I'm not giving you a full review today, but I was really worried that this really pronounced rocker in the front of this shoe would be a problem, but I'm going to tell you it was not. I felt like this shoe was pushing me forward a little bit. If you watch my previous videos, you know there's a number of race shoes that I really like that are somewhat stable. The Endorphin Pro 3 was by far my favorite. I've also worn the Endorphin Pro 4 in a couple of marathons and other races. And I've also worn the A6 Metaspeed Edge Plus, and I really like that for short races. But after one race, and it's only one race, I think I may have just found my favorite race shoe of all time. So as it stands right now, I'm pretty confident that my London Marathon race shoe is going to be the Saucony Endorphin Elite. Now with that, let's talk about my training, right? Training's been going really well. In week number 6, I didn't quite get the 45 miles I wanted to get last week because of that race on Sunday. I was supposed to get a 16-mile long run in last weekend, and I wasn't able to do it. My plan was to do that kind of like with the race on Sunday, do my warm-up, do the race, and then do a nice long cool down to get the miles in, but that just didn't work out. I did my warm-up, we had the race, but then the team went to a local Chili's, to have a beer and have some food. So I went along and did that. And then my kids were coming over for the football games that afternoon. So it just didn't work out. But because my training has been going so well, that really didn't matter. I've got the base I need. I've got the fitness I need. So, having one week that didn't quite work out mileage-wise, no big deal. I got 33 miles in instead of that 45 or 46, and I'll show it to you in my plan in a minute. But, it was a quality workout that day, a really good race. Moving on to this week, week number 6, I've knocked it out of the park. The goal this week was to get that 45 miles in, and today I'm just going to do a 5-mile easy run on the treadmill, and I will have that 45 miles. I've had a great week of training. Yesterday, I had a 15-mile long run with my race team, and what was originally scheduled to be kind of like an easy first 3/4 of the run, so my 3-1 run, turned into a marathon pace run for the entire 15 miles, and I was in zone 2 heart rate the entire time. So there's a big point I'm going to make about this. Running with this team, racing regularly, I'm finding that it's helping me ensure that I'm training at the right intensities that I need to. So that marathon pace run yesterday, at zone 2 heart rate, that is not a hard run, but it's telling me that my fitness is really up here. So more than anything, it's getting in the volume I need to get in before London, making sure I hit those long runs, continuing to do these shorter races, and we'll get into that in a minute. So altogether, that's going to give me a much better chance of having a PR at the London Marathon. So with that, we're going to get right into the training plan, and I'll give you some more details. Okay, here we are in my training plan. So as I mentioned, week number 5, I didn't quite get the 40 miles actually, which is what I was planning on getting. I didn't get that in. I only got 33.1 miles, and that was because I only got 6.21 miles in on that Sunday instead of the 14 miles that I planned to get. I said I was going to do 16, but it was really 14. Because I figured with the race, maybe doing another 8 miles would be more than enough. But I only got 33.31, but no big deal because that was a very quality race. I actually finished second in my age group, 60 to 64, and I also finished second for the team in the Grand Masters. And I'll get into that race in a little bit, but it was a very, very good race for me. As you can see here, week number 6, I did over 6 miles. Then I did 8 miles instead of 7 on Tuesday. I did another 5 on Wednesday. Wednesday is typically my quality workout day, but because I had just raced on Sunday, I didn't do that on Wednesday. Plus, I wasn't able to run early in the morning, so I had to do my run plus my strength workout, my lower body strength workout after work. So instead of like trashing my legs with a fast run, I did an easy run on the treadmill, then I did the leg workout. Then I had my rest day on Thursday. Then I had 6 easy on Friday. And then yesterday, I was going to do a 16-mile 3-1 run, but I went to run with a bunch of my teammates, and that 3-1 run turned into a marathon pace run. So it was only 15 miles, but that is okay. 15 miles, 16 miles, really didn't matter there. But it was the quality of the workout that really was impressive to me and how well I felt. I was able to run about 8:36 average for the entire 15 miles, which is at the high end of my marathon pace range. So I'm very happy with that, and my heart rate stayed in zone 2 almost the entire run. So that's telling me my fitness is really shooting through the roof. Now today, you see is blank here. I'm going to do 5 easy on the treadmill. That will get me my 45 for the week. Now, what's really cool here is, as you see, I don't have it all laid out. I have some, total mileage numbers in here because I want to make sure I get my 50s. I want to make sure I get into the 60s. I have some of my long runs planned out. but I also have a number of races on the docket. This coming Sunday, I have another race, a 5K race down in New Haven. This is the Irish Run for Refugees. It is not part of the Connecticut Grand Prix, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's going to be a good quality workout. That day, because it's only a 5K, I should be able to get in a double-digit run overall. So since I'm not with the team, I'm going to go down there, do my warm-up, get the 5K in, and then do maybe, 6 to 10 miles afterwards. So I should be able to get in around 40 miles this coming week, and maybe even a little more. We'll see how that plays out. And then you can see I start getting into the higher mileage long runs, 17 miles, 18 miles. And then I have a couple of 20s in here, right? I have a 20, I have a 22, I have a couple of races also in there. Now this Bolton 5-miler right here, that is the Connecticut Cup. So that is the USA Track and Field Connecticut Championships. So I'm really looking forward to that race. That's the next race with my teammates. You know what? There's some prize money potential there. It's pretty darn cool. So just a couple of factors here that I think have really helped me so far in this training block. First and foremost is regular strength training. It's the first time in all of the marathon training blocks that I've done that I have been consistent in doing strength training. Every Wednesday I'm doing legs. Every Thursday I'm doing upper body. And I'm feeling, just in my daily runs and in those races that I have so much more strength. And I'm not getting any niggles, at least to this point, not a single niggle. I just feel like my body is more balanced. When I'm out there racing, I feel just strong. My muscular endurance seems to me much better. And I'm just seeing it in the results, overall results. Now that doesn't mean that a niggle can't pop up, but I'm going to be very smart about it, right? I have the ability to go to the Y and do water running, deep water running if I need to, but I haven't had to yet. And I'm not feeling that residual soreness that I typically would feel if I'm starting to overtrain. I just feel like my body is as fit as it's ever been. Now, knock on wood, we got to keep it that way. But if this block plays out as it's playing out right now, I think there's an extremely good chance that I can finally break through that 3:48 barrier and get down into the 3:30s for the London Marathon. Another big thing, I'm getting sleep and I'm taking vitamin D. It's the winter, a lot of indoor running. I need vitamin D. I'm an older runner. Vitamin D helps with the bones, helps with the muscles, helps with repair, all of those things. And I think that's helping me out a lot as well. There's been times in the past when I've done heavy training that when I've had blood tests, I had a little bit of vitamin D deficiency. So I'm making sure that I'm keeping my nutrition up, that I'm keeping, the vitamins up that I need. And I think it's helping a great, great deal. Something specific that I'm doing that I haven't done before is I'm taking extra virgin olive oil, tablespoon and a half before I go to bed at night, tablespoon and a half first thing in the morning when I wake up. Olive oil, the good olive oil, the real good extra virgin olive oil, that has a multitude of health benefits. It has anti-inflammatory properties. And I'm feeling that mentally, I feel much better. I'm not getting the soreness like I mentioned. I'm not feeling like I've got inflammation. Even after a hard workout, I seem to be recovering much quicker. Whether or not the olive oil is doing that for me, I just know that, I'm taking the vitamin D, I'm getting better sleep, taking the olive oil. Just overall, I feel that much better. And my strength training, I'm not getting a lot of delayed onset muscle soreness after that. So I think everything together right now is really in sync and is working well. I've got a lot of blanks on here, so I'm building this training plan as I go. I know what to do. So each week I'm kind of laying this out. I know how many miles I want to get. I'm allowing myself to have some flexibility. If one day something happens, I know how to adjust it to get in what I need to get in. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Every time I give you an update, you'll see how it's playing out. And then the last thing I think that is so much different this time than in my previous training blocks, I've got people to run with. That's important, right? As I said, yesterday's run turned into a marathon pace run. I don't want to overcook it. I don't want to overtrain. What I found was that I could train at that intensity. I wasn't overcooking it. I wasn't going into zone 3 heart rate. I was in zone 2. So if I had gone by myself yesterday and done that 3-1 run instead of the marathon pace run, I would have been running around say 9 to 9:30 pace for most of the run, and then maybe, cooking it up to 8 minutes to 8:30 for the last quarter of the run. But instead, I was able to hole in the 8:30s and some, sub 8:30 miles for the entire run. I got a much better quality long run workout yesterday than I would have on my own. So the moral of that story is, find a group if you can that's of similar ability. By going out and running with them, you tend to run better. You tend to improve. I'm finding that with these group runs, and it's only 1 or 2 a week, it's making me a better runner. I'm running with good runners. Together, we're making sure that we get decent workouts in, that we're doing the right things, and I'm finding it's making me a better runner along with the racing. Okay, so let's get into that Winter Wonderland 5-miler. As I said, that was the first leg of the USA Track and Field Connecticut Grand Prix Road Racing Series, so let's talk about that. So as you can see here, we're in Garmin Connect. Here is my overall pace and everything. As you see here, it was a little bit longer. Pretty much everybody had about, say, 5.05 miles to about 5.1 miles. So 5.08, as you know, you're never going to run exactly the distance. You try to run the tangents as much as you can. There were a lot of turns in this course. There were some hills. So there was about 200 plus feet of climbing there, 226 to be exact. So you see my time was 34:50. That was a 6:52 per mile for the 5.08, 6:57 per mile official, right, for 5 miles flat. But I was very happy with this race. I felt strong the entire time. And here's the thing. I knew who my competitors in the 60 plus age group were. I kind of looked at the race roster. There were 4 guys. Those guys are all national class age group runners over 60. So, I knew that there was going to be tough there. But there were 4 other competitors or rivals of mine, plus one of my teammates, that I felt, we were going to be neck and neck, and, I could beat them or they could beat me. And I felt that I would finish maybe anywhere from, say, 5 to 10. And that is for seniors, which is over 60 for USA Track and Field. So basically 60 to 69. Even if you get into your 70s, you're still considered a senior. So, but for most intents and purposes, right, it's that 60 to 69 age group. I had some expectations where, I'm not just going to go out and easily win my age group here or even place in my age group because of the quality of the field. Things got pretty good, I'm going to tell you. So we went out, took off. I went out at like 6:33 pace. So let's go down to the pacing here. As you see, if I go all the way down here, so here are my race paces for this race. Now look at this. 6:34 basically for mile 1. So I'm like, man, am I going out a little too fast here? Am I overcooking it? But it didn't feel that bad. It was a little bit downhill, not a big deal. But I went out and I felt pretty strong, even though it was a little faster than I intended. I did plan with my Pace Pro strategy on the hills to take it a little easier. And you see there in mile 2, I was right around 7 minutes and we had started to climb there. So you see there was a 55 feet ascent there. And then into mile 3 where the biggest hill was, the biggest amount of climbing, I had a 7:06. But I was actually, pretty happy with that because typically I would think I'd be around 7:10 to 7:20 on those hills. But I was able to keep it very close to 7 flat or sub 7. Then mile 4, I was able to bring it down under 7 again. Then mile 5, 6:45, so 6:46. And then the last, little bit there, I really cranked it up and was able to push it across the finish line. Now, I was able to beat all of the rivals that I mentioned, right? There were like 4 guys that I figured, they could beat me or I could beat them. It depended on the day we were having. I beat all of them. One of the 4 guys that I thought I couldn't beat didn't run that day. So overall, for USA Track and Field scoring, I finished 4th in the 60 to 69 or the senior division. For my age group in the race itself, 60 to 64, I finished 2nd. The guy that beat me is a national class runner from Rhode Island. So I had a great day. Now, one of the things, and I'm going to show you here in a minute, if we go to the USA Track and Field for Connecticut, this is for this race. As you can see here, we go to Grandmaster. Now, Grandmaster is over 50. Senior is over 60. The thing is, in order for your team to score, you need 3 runners in that division. We only had 2 over 60, so we couldn't score in the seniors. But if you're fast enough and you place with, say, the over 50 guys on your team, you can still score for Grandmasters or Masters even. So you see right here, under the Grandmasters, I was able to score. I was the second fastest on our team, and we finished second as a team to Manchester Running Club. So really, really good day out there. There was a little anxiety my first time, as I said, running with the race team, but I had a great run, and I know I could even run a little bit faster. I was strong throughout, so I think I'm headed truly in the right direction here. So that's really, really good. So we had a great day. We finished second in the men's masters, the men's grandmasters, third in the men's open. We didn't have a senior team, so that hurt our overall scoring. So we're still recruiting quality runners in Connecticut and looking forward to building up the team even more so we can have better overall scoring. But for the groups that we had, for the divisions that we had, our worst finish was third. So there you have it after week number 6 of my London Marathon training block. So much different than previous training blocks. I'm so fortunate to have been asked to run with SoundRunner Racing here in Connecticut. The team is just a group of wonderful, wonderful people, welcoming. I can't say enough about this group, and I'm looking forward to the rest of 2025, rest of the season. I can't wait to get to London and really give myself an opportunity to have an amazing result. So if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you'll get notified when more videos are posted. Comments, any and all comments always help my channel. And hey, if you have running friends, running pals, family members, coworkers, you name it that you think may enjoy the Old Man Van Running channel, please let them know. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate the support. And remember, lace up those shoes and let's get out on the roads.
Railroad tracks run along the creek. Walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons. Country kid turning to a town right heathen. Country kid turning to a town